Okay, so are you already familiar with the system and do you have some questions, or do you prefer to have a general training session?
Oh, actually, I'm new to this one, so yes, please. So if you could,
Okay, a general one.
yeah,
Okay,
show me the
excellent.
general one.
Okay, so Simple Booking is a booking engine, so it means that you will have to configure rooms and then apply rates and availabilities to these rooms so that the guest can book through your website, to your direct website. This means that you have to set up all rooms and its descriptions. You have to configure photos, and then you can then set up rates, offers, packages if you have them, and then cancellation policies so that the guest will know when he will be able to uh, have a free cancellation and within how many days before the check-in. So everything like this. You will have more option. You can, apart from this, you can have the possibility to send quotes. So send specific offers to guests that already got in contact with you, and then you can make a special offer for them and send them an email. We also have the new feature with you can send quotes not only through your email, but also through WhatsApp if it's something that you use. It's not necessarily something that you need to use, but we also have this feature from a couple of weeks. You also have a statistics menu where you can see all your information if you have this kind of interest. So this is the main thing that you can do with our system. So the first thing that I suggest to look into is in the configuration menu. You have this parameters and payment menu, and this contains a lot of basics options that you might need to set up before you even start to set up everything else. For example, if your property allows a minimum stay of at least 2 days or 7 days or more than 1 day, I mean, you can set this here. This is by default at 1. It means that the guest can stay minimum 1 night, and then you can set up minimum stays on the calendar, which in our system is called planner. So when I refer to the planner, it's our calendar. So if your property allows more than 1 night, as a minimum, I mean, you can set this up here. If you allow 1 night as a minimum for most of the cases, then you can leave it like this. Release days, it means how many days in advance you would like the reservation to be made. So for example, if you do not want to receive reservation for the same date, for example, not today for tonight anymore, then you can set this up at 1. It means reservation must arrive with at least 1 day in advance. 0 means same day reservation. You cannot set this up in hours, only in days. I'm not going through all of these parameters because there are a lot, but most of them has a description and it's not necessarily you won't need them all necessarily. If you have a closing period, you can set this up here and you can set the period and then select if it's for seasonal closure or for renovation. If you have this kind of thing, you can limit the rooms per reservation. So if you do not want big groups to make a single reservation with a lot of rooms, you can limit this here. If it's empty, it means that guests can book how many rooms they want, of course, according to the daily availability of those rooms. Here you can, for example, so by default, if a guest will cancel a reservation, that room will go back on sale. So if you have 0 availability of a room and a guest cancel a reservation, that room will go back to 1 availability. if you do not want this behavior, you can enable this. It means do not regain availability on cancellation. By default, it's set on off, so a cancellation will automatically replenish the availability of that room. If you intend to use cribs, so baby beds, you will have to enable this here and then set up what do you mean by cribs. So what's the max age for kids to use the crib? If you are interested in analytics, in the statistics in our menu, in our system, you might need to exclude your IP addresses. If you have more than one, you can enter more than one as long as you separate them with a comma. So you can see the description here. For multiple IPs separate with a comma. And this is because every time you will set up something, like a new room, and you offer a new rate plan, we suggest to make test reservations, so test search. So here on the top right, you will have this button, test reservation, which will open the public website, so the public booking engine. This is my test account, so this would be my public account. And if you make, for example, a test search to see if the work you have done it's correct, this kind of search, so from the 15th to the 17th of February, 2-person, will be logged in our statistics. And if you do not want that your searches will be logged in your statistics, but only the guests one, then you might need to exclude your IP addresses from the system. In order to see what your IP address is, you simply go on what's my IP address? What is my IP? And then you open everyone and any of these every of these pages, and you will see your IP address. It's a number like this, so 4 groups of numbers with a period in it. Then in meal plans and price models, you can enable or disable meal plans. We provide these 5. You can change its name if you don't like it, or if you need an additional. So for example, if you do not have all-inclusive, but you have soft all-inclusive, for example, you can enable all-inclusive, select if the price is per room or per person, and then as soon as you save, oh yes, okay, I'm missing something else on other menus, but let's say I'm going to enable it, and you will find a flag near it. This flag will allow you to enter a custom name or a custom description in every language that you have enabled. I'm going to show you how to enable or disable languages in a second. So let's say you don't have all-inclusive but soft all-inclusive, you can enable it. Then as soon as you save, you will find the flag. And if you click on the flag, you can then edit translation here on the right and then enter your custom name. In the credit card and payments, it's obvious, so you can enable or disable credit cards. For example, let's say you do not accept American Express, you can disable it. A very important parameter that I need you to understand is this one, days to clean up credit card data. It means how many days will credit card data will be stored in our system. You can lower this number, but you cannot make it higher. It means as soon as you receive a reservation with credit cards information in it, this credit card information will be stored in our system only for 45 days, regardless of the check-in and check-out date of this reservation. So let's say you receive today, on the 29th of November, a reservation for June 2023. From today on, this credit card information will be stored for 45 days. So on January, you won't have this credit card information anymore. So we suggest to store this credit card information maybe in a PMS or in a in a secondary system, in a channel manager, whatever you use, store this credit card information, because as long as this 45 days has passed, then this credit card information are not in our system anymore, in our database not anymore, so we cannot help you to recover them. You will have to contact the guest by yourself. You can also enable bank transfer or something else. You can see all these kind of methods. We also have direct payment gateways. So this one are direct payments methods. It means if you enable them, you of course have to have a contract with them. You can enable this, and then guests can then pay directly at the moment they make the reservation. So let's say you enable PayPal and you ask the guest to prepay 100% of the reservation amount. He will pay at the moment he makes the reservation, and you will see on your PayPal account the money. By credit card, we means that only the guest will only leave its credit card information, and then you will have to take those information and then charge the amount, but manually, not automatically. These are the only automatic payment gateways. Booking engine, this is the last menu. These two, admin only, you won't see them. This is only for our staff. So booking engine, this is more, I would say, sorry, my cat just jumped on my lap. In the booking engine, you can enable something that will be visible on the public website, on the public booking engine. So let's say languages, you can enable and disable. And by enabling one, we mean that everything that you have created, such as rooms, such as rates, cancellation policies, will have, so let's say I'm going to enable Vietnamese. Yes, okay. What's missing? Let me see. Yes. I wanted to add a closing period, but I didn't set up the dates. Okay, so let's start blank. Vietnamese. So save. As I said, everything that has a customizable text will have that language from now on. So if, for example, here on the meal plans, if I click on the flag, Vietnamese will be visible. If I enable an additional language, it will be here. So you can set text description in that language as well. And you also have the public side on that language. So if I open the booking engine, here on the top, I will have Vietnamese as an additional language. And what is automatically translated is not the customized description, but the main menu. So if I change the language, I will see here is everything translated. If you have some suggestions on the translation, go ahead. You can write to our email address. This is, for example, a custom text. This is not something that the system will provide, so you will have to translate it, such as, for example, offers. This is an offer that I have created, and I do not know Vietnamese, so this is shown in English. So the only thing that is translated is the main menu, so what is not customizable. This is a package, so this is not translated. You can, let's see. Okay, something that you might need to look is this enable alternative date selection in calendar. So this is currently off. It means that the guest will have to select the first day, so the check-in day and the checkout day, and then click on check availability. If you enable this and save, and we are going to update this page. So the guest will click on the check-in, and then he will see a drop-down menu to select the checkout. So you can choose whatever you prefer. So it's this one, enable alternative date selection in calendar. This one is the form, the reservation form. So when the guest will click on something, let's say, from the 21st to the 22nd. Okay. I'm going to select a room. I'm going to select the rate. These are additional services. We are going to see them in a second. Okay, so this is the reservation form. So what the guest will have to enter in order to confirm the reservation. And all these fields, you can choose what to enable and what to disable in this section. So, for example, you do not want to allow guests to enter notes, you can disable them. You need to have the city information, the zip code. You can choose. And these are 2 columns. So one for desktop, these 2, and one for mobile version of the booking engine. And this first is if you only request that information. So let's say I would like the guest to enter the city, but I do not want him to do this as mandatory. So if I only flag the first one, the guest can enter it. He doesn't have to. If you click on the second one, he will have to. So the field will be mandatory. Okay, so these here are 5 persuasion elements. So 5 sentences that will appear on the booking process. These are not customizable. So you should enable whatever it's according to your policy. For example, if you also have non-refundable rates, you don't want to enable this one, for example, because not all of your rates will be book now, pay later. The non-refundable might be pay now. So it's best not to enable this. If you have non-refundable, do not enable this one. Okay, so these are general sentences that will appear on the booking process. Here at the bottom, you will see 2 options. These are by default enabled. It means that the guest can enter its personal area on the booking engine, and he will be able to cancel autonomously the reservation or change room and dates if they are available, of course. And one thing that I need to inform you is that if a reservation is flagged as non-refundable, sorry, I'm going to close this. If it's flagged as non-refundable, this reservation will be can be cancelled. Every reservation can be cancelled, but not editable. So if you leave those 2 enabled, the guest will always be able to cancel it. Of course, if it's not a not refundable one, you have the right to charge what it's the penalty. But he won't be able to edit anything. And also if it's a free cancellation one and the free cancellation period is expired, the guest cannot change anything on his reservation. Okay, so these are the main parameters that I suggest to look into at first and then begin to configure everything. The first thing that I would configure is room and accommodations. So always in the configuration menu and then rooms and accommodations. You will see on your system already rooms created. These are the one that we were sent on the Excel file. Every time we create a new property, we are sent an Excel file with some information. So the one that you will see are those. And if you click on one, you will see all the information. On the configuration side, you can set the size of the room, the standard occupancy, the minimum. I'm going to go through this in detail in a second. You have the translation section where you have to select the name and the description of the room. This here on the top is the internal name. So the one that you see here, it's this one. And this is the internal name. You can set a short name so that you know what kind of room it is. And here in the translation section, you can then set the whole name of the room and then the complete description. In the picture, you can select pictures, enter more than one picture, and facilities, what is included in that room and what not. Limits, you do not have to fill them. You can, you do not have to. And this is in order to avoid mistakes when you are entering prices and availabilities on the system. So let's say, for example, I have a total number of 5 double standard rooms. I can, in the availability limit, I can select from 0 to 5. And this means that I if I edit the planner, so our calendar, and I would like to enter 5 availabilities on a date, on a specific date for this room, and by mistake, I'm going to click not only on 5, on the digit 5, but also on the 6 near to it. So because I have a big finger and I click on 5, 6, let's say, and if I click on save, the system would save 56 availability because I entered two digits. But since I have set this limit, the system won't allow me to enter anything more than 5. So if I click on 6 by mistake, he won't allow me to. And the same can be done for rates as well, and minimum and maximum stay. Again, you do not have to fill these limits, you can. In calendars, it's not something that's enabled on your system. This is in order to have iCals, links, and update external website. It's not something that you have enabled. So let's go talk about the occupancy. So let's say I have a double room that is only double, not single use, not triple, only double. Standard occupancy means the minimum occupancy of that room. So it's going to be 2. If I click on it, I can change this, but in my case, it would be 2. I do not have additional beds because it's only a double room, so I leave it like this. If I would like to allow cribs, I can enter it. Do you remember in the parameters and payment, I needed to enable cribs and set the max age for the cribs? If I didn't enable them here, if I enter one crib, it won't do anything. So I need to enable them first in the parameters and payment section. Okay, and then I could actually save. As soon as I save here, it will tell me what's the occupancy and if I have a crib. Let's say I have a similar, this one I'm going to explain in a second. Let's say I have a similar occupation in the triple room, so it's only for 3 occupants, but I have a crib as well, so I'm going to enter 1 crib and save. Okay, so 3 plus 1 crib. Let's say this triple room, I would like to have minimum of 2 guests and a maximum of 3 guests. So again, the minimum occupancy is this one. So here, if I would like to offer the triple room for a minimum of 2 occupants, I'm going to set 2. And the third one will be an additional beds. Additional beds, it's not always additional beds. It might also be additional guests. So for example, if my double room would be offered for a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 2, I would set here 1 as a minimum and 1 as an additional. In this case, it's not an additional bed because I have a king bed, let's say. This is an additional occupant. So this can be read as additional beds or occupants. But let's go again on my triple room. So I'm going to sell this for a minimum of 2 guests and a maximum of 3. So 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1. Okay, so, and I save. So this is now minimum of 2 plus 1 bed or occupant and a crib. But let's say this triple room, it's not big enough to accommodate 3 guests plus a crib. It's only big enough to accommodate 2 and a guest or 2 and a crib. So I'm going to set maximum of guests 3, as it already is. This means that the third one can be either a bed, an additional guest, or a crib. If I didn't set anything here, so empty, it means that the crib can also be the fourth guest. So 2 plus 1 plus 1. This would be the maximum occupancy of this room. But if I need to limit it because it's not big enough, then I can set this here. This minimum full quotes, I'm going to set back this triple room for 3 person only. So this might be clearer. Okay, so now it's only for 3 guests, not more, not less. Let's say I'm going to set prices. Let's say I'm going to. So for 3 adults, the price is €150, $150, let's say. And then for 2 adults and 1 kid, it's I don't know, $140. Okay, so it's less. In this case, my standard occupancy is 3, but not all of them will pay a full quote, because if there are 3 adults, they will pay 3 full quotes, let's say 50 plus 50 plus 50. But if it's 2 adults and 1 kid, the kid won't pay a full quote. So my full quotes are not actually 3. My full quotes are actually 2, because only the first 2 will pay always the full quote. Let's say if I have 1 adult and 2 kids, they will pay 140 as well. Because in my case, the first 2, regardless of the age, will always pay a full quote. So this is the adult, and this is the first kid, and this is the second kid. So the first 2 will always pay a full price. So in my case, full quotes are always 2. And the third one, so if I save, nothing will change here because the occupancy is always the same, 3, not more, not less. But in my 3 occupants, only the first 2 will pay full quote, and the third one might be a discount. And this discount will be set in this second menu, guest price variations. So let's take my triple standard. So I'm going to focus on this one only. So here you will see a base row, and then my meal plans. You might see a different thing, but in my case, I have 2 separate meal plans, and I have 2 age ranges. So one is for adult and one is for the kids. Again, in my case, I have 2 full quotes, and the third one only if it's a kid. It will be $10 discount or 20%, I don't know, whatever you want. And if I click on change rates, I can set up here, let's say, minus 10 euro, dollars, I don't know. So for example, minus 10. If I set minus 10, it means in currency. If I set minus 10%, it means in percentage, of course. So if I save, in this case, it will be full quote, and the third one will be minus 10. And in the second case, it will be minus 10%. Okay. I can also divide this one single range in 2 separate, for example, one for the crib, and then the second one for elder kids. So I can differentiate it. You can also create more than 2. You can create how many you would like. Let's go back on my rooms and accommodations. If I'd enable the crib, I can go back in my guest price variation, select my triple room, and I would see the row for the crib as well. So I can set now the price for the crib. Let's say it's 0 because they do not pay anything. Setting 0 or minus 100%, it's the same. So 0 means he pays 0, and setting 100%, it means he pays a 100% discount. So it's actually the same. So this is the same if you would like, for example, to set an apartment which has, for example, a minimum occupancy of 1, and then 3 additional beds because it's for 1 to 4 people. Okay, from a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 1 plus 3, so it's 4, and a crib as well, let's say. I'm going to guess price variation, select my apartment, so I'm focusing on it. And here I can see my crib, second bed, third bed, fourth bed. If there is no additional surcharge, so if the price will stay the same for all occupants or some of them, I simply set 0. So let's say only the fourth bed has an additional fee. Sorry, I will set here $10, for example. So it means the price that I'm going to set in my calendar will be for 1 person, for 2 person, for 3, because there is no additional fee. And if there are 4 people, then $10 as a fixed fee. Okay, so do you have any questions about this section? This is one of the most not difficult, but with a lot of information.
Nguyen, do you have any concerns or questions?
Okay, so in this one, I would like to ask one more thing. Here is the standard occupancy that you say here for this room time is 2. So in our hotel, the maximum occupancy for one room is 2 adults and 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
So here in the standard occupancy, we will put here is the number is 2 or 4.
The maximum is 2 plus 2 children, but the minimum, how much is it?
2 adults.
Okay, so
The
in this
basic
case,
is two adults, but the maximum is 2 adults and 2 children.
okay, so in your case, standard occupancy, which is the minimum occupancy, is 2, and then you will set 2 additional beds, and then since these are only kids, you can use these parameters, use age configuration for extra guests, and you can select the 2 extra guests. What's the age? So by default, it's the 0 adults. So this can
Under
also be
12.
adults. And then you can set whatever you mean by child. So let's say from 0 to 12. So these 2 additional beds cannot be occupied by adults in this case.
But if I put the additional beds into, will the guests understand that there will be an extra bed or any additional beds in the room for them?
This you
Because it means that
you can choose, because if by default this is disabled, this hide additional beds detail, so it's disabled. It means that let's make a test. So we are going to see this. So this is what we suggest. Every time you make a change, do a test search. So let's say I'm going to select 2 adults and 2 kids, let's say. So in this case, no, so it will be standard double room plus 2 extra beds. Okay,
yeah, but
if you do not want this,
yes,
you can enable this hide additional bed details, and then the room will only have its name. Here you can see the max guests, but you won't see plus X beds, this not.
So it means that all of the 2 adults and 2 kids will share the existing bed and there is no extra bed in the room, right?
Yes, this is what it's actually. So since there is no information about extra beds, it means that they will sleep in existing beds, yes, in the room.
Okay, I got that.
So
Thank you.
it all depends on this one. If you disable it, it will be shown plus 2 extra beds. If you enable it, nothing will be shown.
Okay, I know that.
Okay, so the last thing I would like to say about the rooms is that if you can see here, for example, this double single use has
Đó
a
là kiểm
V.
tra lại coi đóng hết chưa nha, rồi có mở lại ra không nha.
It means that this is a virtual room. So let's say in my property I have rooms that can be sold for 2 person and 1 person as well. But it's the same room which has 2 separate prices because there is no fixed fee from 1 to 2 person. I can create a second room such as this one. And then, so since these two are the same room, the physical room, if I leave them separate, they will have their own availability, which means that, for example, let's say in my hotel, I have 10 double room, which can also be double single use. Okay. If I create 2 separate rooms, so 1 double and 1 double single use, I would set 10 and 10 availabilities, so this means 20 in total, or I would need to set them separately. But if I create this virtuality, which is achieved by enabling this parameter, link this accommodation to another, so you enable it, and then here on the right you select what rooms must be linked to. This means that they share the availability. So I will simply need to set the availability on the first room, and the second one, I'm going to show you this on the planner, which is our calendar. So let's say I'm going to set 10 availability on the double room. Yes, I have limits, 5. I've set those limits back. Okay, and in this case, the double single use will have the same availability. If one of these 2 rooms will be booked and the availability will drop, both will drop. So these are linked rooms. Okay, so after rooms, I would like to talk about rates. In my case, this is set up in rates and inventory, and then rate plans. And what do I mean by rate plans? I do not mean a high season rate plan, low season rate plan. I mean whatever has different cancellation policies and prices. So let's say, for example, for tonight, I'm going to offer $100 for my free cancellation. I'm going to offer a discount of 10% if for a non-refundable. And then I'm going to have a smaller, let's say a smaller discount, 95, if the guest stays at least 3 nights. So these are all different options. These are different cancellation policies, and this is a different restriction. But these are all prices for the same night. Okay, it depends on what cancellation policy and what condition. So in this case, I would create my standard rate, which is the free cancellation one, a non-refundable, which is a discounted but prepaid rate. And then I can create additional rates, for example, if they stay at least 3 nights, or if they pay in advance, if they stay at least 7 days, something like this. And to create a rate plan, on the top right, you click on Create New, and then some parameters will be asked. Code, it's something that you can invent. It's not something useful. The name of the rate plan. These two, you will always be using the end user. You can select the cancellation policy. I will show you in a second how to create them. And then the most important parameter is this one. You can set a rate plan as an independent one, which require price setting. So you will have to enter prices on this new rate plan manually. Or if this is a derived rate plan, so you can set which is the main rate plan, the parent rate plan, and then what kind of price variation. For example, the non-refundable one might be a discount percentage, so 10% discount, for example, or I don't know, the weekly might be $10 off, for example. So when you create a new rate plan, for example, a derived rate plan, let's click on this one. You will find the translation section, which is the public name and description of that rate. You will have the rate variations section where you need to select what's the price variation. You simply click on edit rate variation and all of your rooms will appear and all of your meal plans. And you can set, in my case, it's a percentage, what's the discount. You can also set multiple periods. Let's say I would like my non-refundable to be a 10% discount for most of the times. And I can add a new rate variation, let's say on, I don't know, on New Year's Eve. I would like the discount to be a bit less. So let's say 8%. And if I click on save, top right, you will see 10%, it's the usual discount, but on this 3 nights, the discount will be 8%. So again, you can enable a lot of additional rate variation and then add multiple periods per variation. Okay, let's say I only have the main one, so the 10% discount. I can also set rules, which are conditions. For example, let's say I do not want the non-refundable rate to be available tonight as well, because what's the point on prepaying if the best rate is already in non-free cancellation period? So let's say my free cancellation is 7 days for the free cancellation, and the non-refundable should actually be available until 7 days. So you can select the release days in the rules section and then set, for example, 7. So this means if I book with 7 days in advance, I can select the free cancellation one with the full price and pay at the hotel, for example. And I can also see the non-refundable with the prepaid rate with 10% discount. But if I book for tonight, I do not find this rate because I'm booking too close to the check-in date. You can set a lot of rules. You can select whatever you like. Okay, when you have set rate plans, so you have prepared everything, you can then begin to enter prices. So if I go, we have 3 different planners. The master planner is something that allows you to see more than one rate plan, one offer, and one packages if you have one. So let's hide them so it's not too confusing. The first row is always the daily availability of that room. And then from the second on, these are rate plans. You will only see one meal plan. If you have bed and breakfast enabled, this will be the one that will be shown here. If you only have, let's say, all inclusive, then you will see only that one. But this planner won't allow you any changes. So this is only for visualization. On the multi-data planner, you can make changes on this planner, but these are single changes on specific rooms and dates. So let's say I would like to change the availability of the triple room for tomorrow. So here on the 30th of November, the triple room. Q is quantity. Let's say I would like to replenish one availability, and I save. So tomorrow I have a triple room available, and the price is 100, and here is 120. Save. Okay, so this is the multi-planner. The multi-data planner is only if you would like to make specific changes on specific dates or room. The planner on the other side is a mix of the two. So you will see the first row is the availability, and then you have both over every meal plan that you have enabled. And you can make changes. To make changes, you have two options. You click here on the right, you select the period. So this is for longer period, to make changes on longer period. Let's say I would like to set up the whole month of December. So I click on the 1st of December, and then here on the last day of December. And then I select the range, and this window will open. This is the update rate plan window. The other method to select a period is to click on this timeline here on the top. So first click on the first date, only click, not drag, only click. And then you go on the last date, let's say the 26th, and you click again. So one click on the first date, one click on the last date. And then the same window will appear. So it depends. If you need to make a small change, for example, on the 1st of December, 2 clicks. And if you need to select a longer period, maybe it's best to do this here. If you need to go left or right, you simply click and hold and then move. So you click set, you click and you move. So you need to hold the click. Okay, so let's say I would like to set all my prices and availability for December. First click, last click, 1st December 21st. Okay, so inventory, rates, restriction, close, open meal plan. These are the possibility that I have. Inventory is the daily availability. So let's say I have 5 double rooms, 2 triple rooms, 2 double deluxe, and 1 apartment. Rates, let's say I have 100, 120, this is 90, this is 100, 130, 150. I'm apply. Okay, so now I will see all the availabilities that I have set. This here, I didn't set any price. If I need to set the price for only one meal plan, of course, for example, apartment, it's only room only. I do not enter anything on the bed and breakfast section. So this means the apartment is only available in room only, bed and breakfast not, because I didn't enter any price. And let's say the apartment, it's only available for a minimum of 3 nights. So I select again the period and I go on restriction, and then I set up 3 minimum stay, apply. So this min 3 will appear, and you can see that this apartment would only be available for 3 nights at least. One other thing you can do is to close or open meal plan. So let's say you have entered the prices for the room only for rooms, but you only offer them in bed and breakfast. So this was a mistake, let's say. I'm going to select the planner again, and then I'm going to close room only on rooms and close bed and breakfast on apartment, let's say. Okay, so I click on the red X, apply changes. So room only will be closed on all rooms, and bed and breakfast will be closed on the apartment. So this is how you close. Okay, so if you need to check other rate plans, so let's say, what's the situation on my non-refundable rate plan? I click on this drop-down menu and I go on the planner of the non-refundable rate plan. So as you can see here, I do not have any closing that I did a second ago, so everything is open. And on the apartment, I do not have the minimum stay. I have nothing apart from prices and availability. If I go back on my standard rate, when I did all of those changes, so I did the minimum stay of 3 nights, remember? And here I have 3 options only on this rate plan: copy to all rate plans and copy to selected rate plans. Let's say I would like to copy these 3 to the non-refundable only, and I need to the closing that I did earlier. Again, the same thing. So when you do stuff like this, remember to copy it to other rate plans. All of them or some of them, but remember to copy them. If I click on apply changes, nothing will change here because they were already okay. But on the non-refundable, I can see them now. So minimum stay of 3 and all the closing. I could have done this here as well. So the non-refundable has its own edit page as well. But if you have multiple rate plans, it's very useful to do this at once in one single operation when you are entering these information. So you can copy it on all rate plans. Regarding rate plans, I was telling you, so let's go back on my rate plans menu and then the non-refundable, which was the same. So here the prices are derived. On the right side, you can see a couple more options. So for example, here the cancellation policy and the cancellation policy template. Okay, so these two are 2 separate things. The cancellation policy, which it's mandatory, it's the default cancellation policy that has that specific rate plans. And I'm going to show you how to create a cancellation policy and to configure one. And the policy template, this is used only if you need to apply on this specific rate plan different policies on different period. So let's say on my main rate plan, on my standard rate, which usually has the 2 days cancellation policy, I would like to set, for example, on holidays, a period, for example, on Christmas, on New Year's Eve, maybe on trade shows periods or specific periods, I would like to set a different policy. So the same rates as usual. So the rates set in this rate plan will be the same, but the cancellation policy must change. In this case, I go back on my configuration menu and then cancellation policies. Here I see all the list of my single cancellation policy. And to create one, I go on top right, create new, and I enter a name. As soon as you have created it, you click on it, and then you have the usual translation section. This is where the guests will see what this cancellation policy will allow. So in my case, it's 48 hours prior without penalty. And here you will have to enter everything that might happen. So if you are usual to use the credit card information to make a charge, what will happen if the guest will no show, if he cancel in the penalty period, everything that might happen, if you expect him to pay a local tax at arrival, or if you have specific policies such as, I don't know, check-in from 11 a.m. or check out until 11 a.m. or check-in from 3 p.m. on. So some information like this. You can enter them here. In the configuration section, this is what the system will allow. So if you enable free cancellation, you will have to set how many hours in advance. Is it free? So these parameters will allow the guest to make changes to his reservation until 48 hours in advance. So if you set more than this, the system will allow changes to his reservation only until this is expired. If you select non-refundable, no changes is permitted at any time. Cancellation will be this, I told you already. Here it's what's asked at the moment of reservation. No warranty required. No warranty required. Nothing will be asked. Credit card information will be asked. You will ask a deposit, let's say 50%. I have enabled PayPal, bank money transfer, or credit card. If you enable credit card, it means that the guest will still leave you credit card information and you will charge 50%. So what's the difference? If you enable this one, the guest will only leave his credit card information and he will be told that no charge will be made. If you enable this one, the guest will see, for example, of a reservation of $100, that $50 will be charged on his credit card. So this is only an information and he won't pay by himself. You will have to take the credit card information and charge them. And if you enable, let's say, PayPal or any other payment method, this will happen automatically. So the guest will actually pay through this payment method. Used by, you can see who is using this cancellation policy. If it's an X, it means that, for example, here, all my rate plans. The rate plans with an X means they are not active rate plans anymore. If they have this check, it means these are enabled rate plans. But all of them has this cancellation policy. So for example, this bed and breakfast rate plan. Okay, it's not active anymore, but it has the 2 days cancellation. Okay, so these are the single cancellation policies. In order to create a cancellation policy template, you go on the top right, cancellation policy template. And if you do not have one, you can create a new one. You can call this however you want. And if you click on it, you can, in the configuration section, you can select and configure period with a different cancellation policy. So if I go back on my rate plan, my standard rate plan, I can see that the default policy is the 2 days. Okay, so most of the times the 2 days cancellation policy is applied to this rate plan. But I would like, for example, on Christmas and New Year's Eve to be 14 days cancellation policy. And let's say in February, I have a trade show in my local area, so I have a different cancellation policy. Okay, so I also would like the non-refundable to be available, I don't know, in the whole month of August. So in the whole month of August, I would like my standard rate to be non-refundable. So your non-refundable rate plan is a 10% discount, okay? But you do not want to offer the 10% discount. You only want your main rate plan to be non-refundable, so with prepayment. So this means these cancellation policies will apply to my standard rate in these periods. So it's not a different rate plan, it's only a different cancellation policy applied to the same rate plan. And then I go back on my rate plan and then I select this template. Okay. Do you have questions about this section?
Yes, I have one question. Could you please go back to the planner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here on the tab on the right side, the tab that there is the rate availability. So I just wonder what is the rate availability here?
Okay, so The first row is always the main availability of rooms, so the daily availability of the room, and you can set rates availability. This is only visualization, so display option. I can enable it and I will see this additional row. You can set, for example, from all these 5 double rooms on the non-refundable rate plan, let's say, I would like on the 1st of December, if I go on rates, because this is a rate availability, I will have to set this in rates. I would only sell 2 rooms on my non-refundable rate plan. So the main availability of the room is 5, but on this specific rate plan, I only would like to offer 2 rooms. So I will show you an example. So let's say on the 1st of December, 2-person, I'm going to select my standard double on my non-refundable rate. Okay, I go. So this is name. Say, okay, so continue. Yes, of course. Hopefully, you know what, I'm going to do something like this on my cancellation policy. On the non-refundable, I'm going to enable, oh yes, sorry for this. Yes, I know some translation are missing. Yes, I know. Okay, sorry for this, but I do not want to enter credit card. Okay, so I'm going to select bank transfer, countries, Italy. Yeah, so book now. Yes, you want my mobile? Okay. Okay, so I've actually done, so we are going to see this as well. So I've done a reservation. This one, the first one. So with a non-refundable rate. Okay, so if I go now back on my rate plan, so the main availability from 5, it's gone down to 4. If I go on my non-refundable rate plan, the rate availability has gone down from 2 to 1, and this is nothing special. If I do a different so let's say, sorry, I've done 2, but I would prefer to set 0 now. Okay, so let's say 0. 0 means that no double room is available on non-refundable rate plan on the 1st of December, even if there are 4 availabilities. So if I go now on the, let's refresh it. Okay, from the 1st to the 2nd, I do not have my non-refundable rate. This one has, but this one not. This is an offer, so it's not the non-refundable rate plan. So I don't have the non-refundable rate anymore, even if I still have 4 availability. But on this rate plan, I do not have rooms anymore available. I do not know if it was clear enough.
Okay, I got that. Thank you so much. I understand clearly.
No problem. Here, so since we were talking about this one, these are only display options, so you can make the price font bigger or smaller according to the length of your prices. You can make the column wider or smaller. You can disable minimum stay view. You can do something like this. What can I show you next regarding rate plans? I think this was almost all. So let's go on reservation. So as I said, I received a reservation. Okay, so because I just made one. On the dashboard, which is the main page, on the new notification section, you will see new reservation, cancellations, and modifications. In my case, this was a new reservation, so it will be green. Cancellation will be red and modification will be blue, but this is not that important. Anyways, I can see here my reservation I just did. If I click on the number, I can go directly on the reservation. If I need to check on a specific reservation made some time ago, I can go on the reservation and arrivals menu, reservations, and then I can either enter here something that I know from the guest. So let's say I know my name, search, and all reservation with that name will show up. No blank spaces. You need to leave only letters or numbers. But if I do not know that specific name or the code, I can simply click on search and all reservation will appear. I can either print the reservation, and I do not have this option right now because this is my master account, but with your account, you will also see print with credit card information as an additional option here. So in this drop-down menu, or you can click on the number of the reservation, and here you will see all details. So this is the room, the rate, and the meal plan. Guarantees is where you will see credit card information, or in my case, I chose bank money transfer. The cancellation policy accepted by the guest. This is something that you don't see. What I can do next is, on the bottom right, you can send a new confirmation email. So the guest will, of course, receive an email, a confirmation email as soon as he made the reservation, but you can send him a new one if he needs to. You can edit property notes. So if you click on it, the property notes are this one. So if you need to enter a specific note, for example, lactose intolerant, you can. And you can print this reservation, of course. You can also cancel the reservation if you need to. So you click on here, and this will pop up. You will have to enter a reservation, a cancellation reason. So let's say, unfortunately, Corona virus. If you want the guest to receive the cancellation email, you will have to flag this. If you do not do this, the guest won't receive anything. If you do not want this standard room to go back on sale, you click on this. Do not recover room availability. If you do not click this, the room will go back on sale. And if you would like to create a voucher, so let's say the guest already prepaid this 112 euro, you could create a voucher so that he will be able to use that credit for a second reservation. This I'm going to show you in a second. So let's say I do not want to create a voucher. I want to send him a cancellation email, and I want to recover the room. So I leave this like this. Cancel reservation. This is the preview of my cancellation email. And I simply click on send, and the guest will receive the cancellation email. If I click on search now, my reservation is now cancelled. Okay, so let's open another one. So let's say this simple booking help desk is my guest, and he needs to cancel his reservation because he cannot come anymore, but he already prepaid this amount or part of this amount, and he would like to use that amount in a second reservation in another time. So I can delete and create vouchers. So I'm going to cancel this reservation and create a voucher instead. Or if I click on the blue button, create refund voucher, it's actually the same thing. So you are creating a voucher, but this reservation won't be canceled. So the difference between these two options is what happens to this reservation. Does it need to be canceled? Then I click on the red button. Does it need to remain active? I click on the blue button. So let's say I want to cancel this because the guest is not coming anymore. I click on it. This is the same page as before. I need to select a reason. So let's say my corona again. And I create a voucher after delete. So cancel reservation. And then here, this is the voucher page. This is filled up automatically from the information I had before. It's missing the customer language, so I'm going to edit English, save. Okay. Voucher created as a refund of reservation XY. Okay. Unique code. This is created automatically from our system. You can generate a random code or also enter your code if you use one. If you use a code system internally, you will have to select the expiration date. So when does this voucher expire? You need to select the amount. The amount is automatically the total amount, but if the guest only prepaid part of it, so let's say 122, you can change this, of course. You do not have to select the stay range. You can leave this blank, or you can limit the new stay. Let's say you would like his stay to happen within 2023. You can then select the whole year of 2023. If you do not select anything, then he can stay whenever you have availability within the expiration date. Okay, so you can enter internal notes which are only visible to your system, or notes for the customer which will be visible to him as well. And then you simply send to customer or save. What's the difference? If you save, the guest won't receive anything. If you send to the customer, this voucher will be saved and sent to the customer. If you don't have a reservation that needs to be canceled, where to create a voucher from, you can simply create a voucher from scratch in the reservation and arrival section. Sorry, my cat is jumping on my desk. Okay, on the reservation and arrival section, you have the vouchers menu. Here you can see all of them. And you simply click on create new, and the same page as before will open, of course, blank, so you can enter anything from scratch. From the voucher list, you can see, for example, this was redeemed by the hotel, so by me actually. So if I open, oh yes, here, for example, this is not redeemed yet. If I open it by clicking on the code, I can see all the information. And if I click on disable, it means that this voucher cannot be used anymore. If I click on redeem, it means this voucher was redeemed already. So if I click on redeem, I cannot make a reservation from there. It only changes the status. If I would like to use this code to make a reservation, I need to use that in the test reservation. I'm going to show you how in a second. Or you can send it to the customer again. Let's say I would like to use this specific voucher to make a reservation. The guest will receive the email. Let I show you. Okay, so this is the email that he will receive. Sorry, this is in Italian, but he will see this button, which is redeem my voucher. So if he clicks on here, I'm not sure if I can open this from here. No, in fact, let's see. Oh, yes. If the guest will click on this button on his email, this page will open. So my usual booking engine, but on the top, I'm going to make this in English. It shows you have a valid voucher worth 150 euro available for every date. So I didn't set any limitations, so it shows every date. If I click on check availability, my room will show up. Let's say I would like to select this one, 180 euro. And the system will automatically apply the voucher discount. And this is the total amount that I still need to pay. And this amount will be paid according to the to the cancellation policy. So in my case, I chose a non-refundable rate, which means I will need to leave my credit card information, and you might charge this 34 euro. Or let's say I select a lower rate. So my voucher is 150 and this rate is only 112. So the total amount will be 0 and the remaining amount will be lost. So I can contact the hotel and ask, I used a voucher of 150, but the reservation was only 112. What can we do? And you can offer something or not if this is not your policy. So the difference will be lost in this case. Okay, and if you want to redeem a voucher, you can simply use the code. So the voucher number, this one, so it's the same. And then when you go on the usual booking engine, so this is the usual one, and I check on availability, I select the room. And here do you have a voucher code here on the bottom? I enter the code and it is applied. Okay. Do you have questions about the voucher?
No, for me, thank you.
Okay. Let's say, so here you have a couple more options. For example, insert reservation, you can manually enter a reservation. I need to inform you that if you use this tool, the guest won't receive an email. So as soon as you click on save, you will see the reservation like this. Let's see if I have one example. Of course not. My test account, I have one. So you will see Pren Man. It's a reservation, manual reservation. So you will see this like this. And in order to send the guest a confirmation email, as soon as you click on save, you will see the detail. And on the top and on the bottom right, you will send him a confirmation email with this button. Daily arrivals, you will select a date. Let's say I don't have reservation right now, but let's say I select a date and you will see whoever is checking in that day. The tableau is more a timeline where you see who is staying when and in which room. Again, I don't have reservation because I'm not a real hotel, but this was clear enough. So here I can see that 2 of my guests will stay on these dates in my double standard room. Secure way, this is more here on the top right. Test secure way. This is a form that you can send a guest in order for him to leave you credit card information. Let's say he didn't make a reservation through the booking engine, but on the phone, for example, or by email, and you can send him with this link. So you send him the link, not the form in PDF, but the link. And when he opens these links, he will see this form and he can enter its credit card information in a secure way. And if he will fill this and click on send, you will see here all the credit card information. On the guest menu, you will see all guests. You can filter this search and you can see all the guests. And the voucher, we already see that. In the Convert to CRM, you can, this first 5 menus are regarding the quotes, so sending specific offers to specific guests. And this is all done in the quotes menu, and this is only to see your contacts, the request receive. Content parts is additional information that you can enter in a quote. And the quotes section, here you can see all the quotes you already sent. And if you want to create a new one, on the top right, create new, here you enter the guest information. You add a proposal. So for example, let's say the guest would like to stay in my hotel from the 8th of the 10th of December. he needs 1 room for 2 adults. I click on search, and the system will give me all the available rooms and rates. And I simply click on add on whatever room or apartment I would like to suggest, save proposal. So I'm telling him, so you have these 3 options for these dates. And I can also change the price, of course, if I would like to make him a special price. When I make search, I can also edit the price. So let's say 100 euro, add, and then the double standard here, it's okay. And then here again, the apartment, it's 20 and 70. Add proposal. This will be the price for this specific customer. And then I can add additional services. If I have one, I will show them in a second. And then I need to select when does this quote expire. If I would like this for statistics purposes, I can set where I got the guest. Where did the guest came from? Did they contact me through WhatsApp, through email, through phone? I need to select the language. If the system will need to check or check not if the options selected are still available or not, the first option will mean, let's say, I've proposed a double standard apartment and a double standard in a package. Okay, let's say today these 3 rooms on these dates are still available, but the guest is not opening the quote today. He's opening this quote tomorrow. So tomorrow he will open the quote, see what I proposed him. And let's say the double standard is not available anymore because they are already sold out. If I enable this first option, the guest will still be able to book this double standard, even if it's not available anymore. If I want the system to check if these rooms are still available when the guest is opening up the quote, I need to select the second option. I can enter notes for the customer, your notes, internal notes, and I can select content parts from the one that I have created. So content parts are additional contents. Here it's a special menu, content parts. On the top right, I can create new content parts, and these are all the possibilities. So I can enter an HTML content, an iframe, picture gallery, video gallery, a map of the zone where your property is, attachments, and header image. So for example, I have entered an attachment, so you can add the file here. I've entered a video, so I didn't enter it, but I created one. So I can enter here a video. I created the map, so I can choose whether to satellite or road map. And then a gallery of pictures, so you can enter here the pictures. So this means when I create a quote, I close that right now. So let's do a new quote, and then before sending it to the guest, I can click on whatever content part I would like to add to this specific quote. So for example, if I have families or business trips guests, I can create different content parts. And then if I'm sending a quote to a family, I can select specific family content parts. If I'm sending them to a business man, I can select the specific parts for him. And as soon as I've sent the quote, on the quote menu, I can see which are still waiting to be opened. For example, this one was actually opened, but it's expired, so it's not valid anymore. If this would be converted, so if the guest opened the quote, selected the specific option, and confirmed the reservation, you would see this in black and the reservation number at the side, so you can click on it and go on the specific reservation. You can also convert a specific option in a reservation. So if I open an already sent quote. These are the two options that I have suggested to that quote, to that guest. Let's say he chose the deluxe room. I can click on this blue button, convert into reservation. Okay, in my case, the system is telling me no room is available. Go ahead anyway. Yes, let's say okay. It doesn't matter. So this is the preview of what will be confirmed. And I, as hotel, can confirm without choosing payment methods. So let's say the guest should have entered a credit card information, but he called me, he told me, okay, the deluxe room is okay, and I know he will come for sure. I can confirm without choosing payment method, so without entering the credit card information, or I can select the payment method, enter the credit card information or whatever is possible, and then proceed. So this is up to you. In the email and notification section, you can set something up regarding emails. So for example, if you would like to send pre-stay emails or post-stay emails, you can here on the top in the email templates section, you can customize your emails. Yes, this is almost everything that I wanted to show you regarding the first configuration of the system. So everything else, such as in the rates and inventory, you have the offers menu or the packages menu, additional service menu. You can create them as usual. So on the top right, create new, some parameters will be shown. As soon as you save this, you will see additional options. This is similar to rate plans, so with the rules, with the rate variation, and then the cancellation policy. And if you are stuck, you can always go in the specific menu, and on the top right, you will see this question mark icon where you can see some guides. So for example, I do not know how to create offers anymore. I click on create a special offer and the guide will pop up with images. So you can see this. If you still have questions, you can always reach to us, to our email address, which is helpdesk@simplebooking.it. I'm going to write that here. helpdesk@simplebooking.it. Okay, yes. So in the packages as well, on the top right, this question mark and additional services, this also. Additional services, it's not only what you will offer to the guest when he will arrive, but also, for example, the the local tax, if you would like the guest to see that and pay that in advance, or see that and be included in the total amount of the reservation, you can create it as mandatory. So when you create an additional service on the top right, it's mandatory. Okay, so do you have any questions?
No, I'm not.
Okay, as I said, I recorded this meeting, so I'm going to generate a link where you can download it if you want. And yeah, this was almost everything.
But yeah, it becomes simpler because then you go and tell the oh, you're using this, we are connected.
Sorry, I cannot hear you that good.
I completely get your point. Just work on that data point, send it to me by
Sorry, I cannot hear you very good.
I will work on this along with other partners, and I'll give it the
Hello?
how soon.
Yes.
Yes, Brigitte.
But as of
Oh, somebody is talking on the background. Okay, I thought you were talking to me.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, so do you have questions?
No, so yeah, I think if you could send me the record link of this training session, that if I
Okay.
have any concern or any that again, and
Okay,
in case if
excellent.
I cannot find anything, I will contact your support team.
Thank you very much for attending this. Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. And I will send you the link. I will send it to you so you can then share this with whoever you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brigitte.
Thank you very much.
Have a
Thank
nice day,
you. Have a
evening
nice
in
day.
your case.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.